Hooray! We've reached 200 subscribers. I am so happy about this. I could just squeal with joy, but timing now. So yeah. This is another new story time I did not expected to do, but since I promised you guys we'd reach 200, I would do it. So here we are. And this is a very unexpected one, but this one is going to be totally different. So get your popcorn ready, get your AirPods or earbuds on, and let's get started with this story time. Hey guys, it's Litsy, and this is going to be a very new story time that I never thought I'd talk about, but we're here now, of course, because I promised you guys and I never would break a promise. So if you guys are new here, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that like, comment, subscribe button and turn on the notifications post to get any notifications about my videos and any audios or vlogs or any of that type of videos. Anyway, without further ado, this story takes place during my college years, I would say, or my high school years, but this is not about the girl who I talked about in the last video. If you guys want to go check that out, it's free to watch and all that. But this video is more kind of different. I was once friends with somebody who pretty much was a jerk, honestly, because she would just be rude right away. I was friends with this girl in high school, not college, but high school. And I pretty much, I didn't honestly like her. She was pretty rude. I'm not talking about the other girl, R. No, that's a whole different story. This is another girl. I'm just going to say by the letters, again, privacy only. Her name was A, and A was pretty, mean-spirited sometimes. So, yeah, she would pretty much judge my friends, judge what I wear, everything, and I'm like, okay, I don't like this type of girl. I don't like her energy at all. I'm not like that. I don't judge people's race or none of that, or their clothes, none of that. And so I'm like, yeah, even my bestie Erica's also like, yeah, she's pretty rude, and I'm like, I agree, she's pretty rude. So yeah, but I didn't want to be rude and be like, oh no, because you know how I am, you guys know how I am, and I don't like to be rude all the time. So I'm like, okay, and so once the pandemic hit in 2020, I decided not to be friends with her anymore either, just like with R, but R was more different because it's a whole different story. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead, check it out. But with A, she was pretty mean. She was pretty mean to all my friends, all my guy friends, all my friends who were girls, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. So I was like, yeah, I just can't take it anymore. So I'm just gonna go be friends with people who are polite and not rude to my other friends, because I just don't like that, so yeah. And so she's like, okay, it's cool. She never liked me anyway. She never even liked me as a friend or even called me as a friend. So I was like, wow, can't believe it. But hey, you have to deal with rude people, you got to deal with rude people in your life, so yeah, it's not something kind of new for me, but yeah. Yeah, so she pretty much was just a big jerk, honestly, to me and my bestie and my friends. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to be friends with somebody like that who's just a big asshole, or a big jerk, So yeah, I decided on the pandemic not to be friends with her anymore. Blocked her and everything, didn't text her anymore, none of that. And years later, she reaches out to me and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was a big jerk back then. I've changed now. Do you want to be friends again? I gave it a few thoughts a couple weeks ago, and I decided not to be friends with her again, because I was like, no, she's probably lying. She's just saying that just to make me feel bad for her, But no, I just didn't want to have nothing to do with her, and yeah. And pretty much, she was like, I would just be like, hey, and she'd be like, what? And I'm like, what? I'm just saying hi. And she's like, well, doesn't give you the right to say hi to me, because what if you have something to hide from me? I'm like, I have nothing to hide from you. Which was false, because I actually kind of did, because I just honestly didn't like her, all that. And so I just didn't really honestly liked her. So, yeah. Then she reaches out to me on Instagram and she starts following me, but I'm not going to give any description about what her profile picture is or anything. None of that. And so I was like, oh, here we go again. But this time she doesn't text me back on Instagram either. So I'm like, okay, so she's probably just going to be checking out my profile. I don't know. And so I gave it a few weeks and now she hasn't said nothing yet. So maybe she has probably changed. I'm not sure. I have no idea. So yeah. But hopefully, guys, you enjoyed this story time. She was, I think, no, she was a freshman like me. So yeah, she was a freshman like me. So yeah. So far, you guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the story time because it was pretty short. I know you guys wanted a longer, different short story time, a longer story time, but it was sadly, I guess this is gonna be the shortest one you've ever heard of. But yeah, it's not. It's a little shorter, like the last one with that girl from high school too, with R too. So yeah, but hopefully you guys understand that. Sometimes it's pretty hard to choose what story times, because of the people who you're friends with, who you talk to the most. So yeah, you just gotta be careful what you say. So yeah, it's pretty hard to choose these days, like who to talk about on here. So yeah, so don't judge me on that, but I'm just trying to be really understandable, trying to make sure not to really take nothing out of content. So yeah. So I'm just trying to it's really hard these days now to like decide or to choose who I should talk about on my channel. So don't right away be disappointed in this story time because it came out I hit it 200 now. It was because of timing and it was also something I really didn't want to talk about either, but I decided no, I'm going to pull it myself together and maybe it's time I tell my side of the story of this because honestly, this was just crazy. And she was crazy, honestly. I'm not going to lie. She honestly was crazy. She didn't like me more than just a friend, not like R. No. She was more strict, I would say. She was more like rude as hell. She would curse a lot. I know that. Like a lot, a lot. Not like me, just a lot in general. And she would mostly judge people on their shoes and everything. So, and judge on their attitudes as well. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not like that. I'm not like that kind of person at all. I was never like that in high school. So, yeah, I'm just never like that. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this story time because I kind of enjoyed it too. But I kind of also, there was some stuff I feel like I've left out. Oh, yeah, and she also wanted to, at one point, this is gonna sound weird. She wanted to, at some point, make her ex jealous to try to get back together with him. And I was like, no, hell no. So she was trying to use my ex at the time, who I was dating in high school, and she wanted to use him to make her ex jealous, and I was like, no, that's not happening. And he also agreed. He was like, no, that's just weird. I would never do something like that, so no. And it was not the ex who cheated on me at a party. No. That was a different person. It's a different person in this too. So yeah. And I really honestly was like, no, that's just weird and gross. Wouldn't agree to that. So yeah, I just felt weirded out. So yeah. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this story time. Sorry if it took a little bit of timing and of it, but yeah. And I am going out. Hooray!